today I want to talk about another thing that was pretty controversial before the game came out, but now this game has been out for a couple of weeks, like 20 days basically, and I'm going to talk about the Gatlings, the lack thereof. What's the energy? We're going to talk about the Gatlings in the game. So in previous versions, you had way more options off your chains, right? So you had essentially the system goes from weak to strong. So you have punch, kick, slash, heavy slash, dust. Punch is the weakest, dust is the strongest, and it was supposed to be just like a Magic series style, like Marvel vs. Capcom. You're going from lights to heavies, basically. My theory is that they have noticed that over time in Guilty Gear, people have refined the Gatlings they like to use. I actually think I should be an excerpt to talk about this. So if you're new to this game, by the way, if you're new to Guilty Gear, the stuff I'm about to talk about might be whatever to you. If you've played Exert and Strive, or you played Dragon Ball and Strive, this is going to mean a lot to you. If you haven't played Exert, then you're just going to be like, what do you mean there's no chains? This game, I paid $60 for chains. What do I mean? So in this game, again, I'm going to repeat real quick, but you have the whole string from punch, kick, slash, heavy, slash, dust. But then by character, different characters had different strings straight up, right? So like Milia had like 5k, 6k, it's got like 5k, 6h, like 5k, 6p, 6p, 2h, like. While you're learning the game, one of the challenges of this game is you have to learn the other characters' Gatling charts so that you know when you can do shit, or like at least have an idea of what the options are. So as a quick example, let's bring in Loust, as they call him. But for a quick example of why the Gatling charts matter, right? So Milia has a 6p 2h, and she has 6p 6h, right? Faust has nothing off 6p. Nothing. He only has special cancel options. If you don't know that, you're letting them get away with nonsense. But the challenge comes from, again, one, when you're starting, you have to get used to your own fucking chains. And then two, once you finally get used to your chains, then you gotta get used to the other characters' chains. But one thing that ended up happening is that, and again, this is my theory, but they noticed that the way that people built strings in this game were way shorter than using the entire tree. Like what ends up happening once people get better is, once you start getting better and developing your game in Exert, is that you start building strings designed to target really specific things, and you don't necessarily use the whole chart for it. So a really good example I'll do with Milia is going to be this. So I'm going to... This is a 2p into Lust Shaker. This is a string I use quite a bit. What does this do? This is how far people are willing to go in order to win in this game, right? in Guilty Gear, like how developed it can get. So this is designed to hit 8. So Faust's throw option select is either 5h or 6p, right? 5h is a little bit easier. So if he does it, I hit him. If he blocks Lust Shaker in this game, it's +7, right? If he FDs, I am +9, but at this space, I can't really do anything with the +9, I just am. But I also get to see that he likes to FD, and that next time, I'll pick something else. Because the main thing is that her 2p is so fast that once she does it, you gotta just pick some shit. If she throws you, she gets a mix-up, just like Strive, right? On the Faust side, you see a lot of button special moves, so it's like 6p item. Another one he does a lot is like 2p 2d into a special move, so either item or pogo. Like a lot of character strings get built for really specific uses, and they get really short. Like when you watch high level Guilty Gear, especially like Exert and even XX, like a lot of the strings that people built are, I'm in this situation, so I'm gonna do button, see what's going on, and then pick like a special move or something. What I'm trying to say basically is that there's a lot of Gatlings that might not get used. People don't go through all the chains all the time, and they generally pick like this for this situation, and then these things. What do I do when people jump to grab mix-up? So another amazing thing about this is you can't fucking jump it. So if you jump, if you're holding up, it catches you. If you fuzzy jump, you might get hit. If you have to basically super jump right away. And it's... Oh, wait, you can't even super jump out of this. Let's go Lust Shaker. And if you FD it in the air, you're fucked. The actual thing you're supposed to do is mash a fast move. Like, you're supposed to mash immediately, but that loses to other shit. Like, you don't want to mash straight up because you know that I have like built-in frame traps that are gonna fucking kill you. So mashing straight up is pretty scary. And again, I have more different strings that I can use to target different times and stuff. Right? Okay, let's go back to Strife. Okay, let us continue. It took a while to get back to this game. So, we're back to Guilty Gear. Strife. We're back to Guilty Gear Strife. So, in this game, what they decided to do is they kind of homogenized the Gatlings. They cut out all the character-specific chains. Some characters have, like, you know, command normals and stuff that's unique to them, but for the most part, everyone's chains are the same so that you can kind of hop in between the characters. And a really big thing, too, is that, as a side note, this is a small tangent, but I actually feel like this change is one of the changes that doesn't benefit new players, because the big thing is you need to really think about why you're pressing a button in a situation. I think that actually is going to take new players a while to get used to. So, for example, is the 2P. So in this game, 2P has pretty limited Gatlings, and generally people will not get a combo. Like, they won't get a combo into knockdown generally off 2P. It's supposed to be your fast, like, get off you button. Generally characters have like 2K, 2D also, which is more committal than the 2P that you can mash. Notice how it's like the only one you could really mash that everyone has. Some characters have more unique stuff, like, you know, like Milia's 5K is mashable, but I digress, right? What you want to do with your Gatlings is, for your character, you need to see not just the moves, like the individual moves, but then what situation would you use them in, and then what would you follow up with in case X happens or Y happens. So I'm going to give you some examples of Milia, because this is the character that I play the most, aka is the only character that I play. Right? So actually, if we go back to 2P, it is a button I almost never press, because in her case, she doesn't have 2P, like nobody has 2P 2D, and she does have like kind of a frame trap off this, but it's not a good one. And if you hit them, you don't generally get, and I'm keeping it basic, you don't generally get anything. So actually this is a move I use very rarely. I also know that it's the same speed as this move, so if I had to pick between picking this and this, I pick 2K. Why? Because I get this off my 2K as opposed to this, right? I get my win condition if I get a 2K to connect. Okay. So then we have 5K. I use this a lot. This is a poke, but as a poke, it's like a dashing poke. And a pressure tool. It's jump cancelable. Also, it has a decent amount of options after it. She has a unique one that it can delay cancel into itself, and she can mash it like this. She has a low option. It's jump cancelable. She's got slow overhead off it. She's got a bunch of things off it. This move is my general block string filler, and like I'll run around and be like boop occasionally, right? Now, close slash is another one. So, by the way, there's no like lights in the slashes basically at all. So when do I use close slash? So a lot when my opponent is above me, because of the type of move it is. This move reaches really high, and if they block it, I get a good situation. Brings them down to the ground. If I get a hit, it leads into a combo. If they burst, the first hit is burst safe, which is nice. So it's a button I use a lot. In pressure, it's -2, and it's pretty fast, so you can do it again. So you can do like close slash. You can do like close slash into delay buttons. You can do close slash into jump cancel. You have a lot of options of close slash. It's a really, 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 really nice button. Then I have my 2 slash. So 2 slashes in general in the game don't have a lot of options once it's blocked. I generally use this as a poke. It's a pretty low poke, like this. Reaches pretty far. Goes into my 5H, which is pretty nice. 5H, this is a button that I don't really use at all besides ending strings. It has a good amount of pushbacks, high attack level, that's basically it. 2H, another button I don't use very much in neutral. Her old 2H used to recover way faster. This one does not. So because of that, I don't use it so much. I use 6P instead, or like close slash as my anti-air, or I'll meet them adversary. We also have 5P. I forgot about this. this actually changes itself, but it doesn't have a lot of good Gatling options, and for the most part, there are cases when you can get this to hit on crouchers, but it's pretty uncommon. What I generally use this for is as an anti-air, so I'm just gonna make up a button, so like, and I get 6H off this, which is really good. And there's another situation. I'm gonna actually bring this character out. It's public enemy number 1, by the way. So the other thing is that in some matchups, there are buttons that you can't normally fuck with, right? Oh, hold on. That you can't normally fuck around with too much. That will lose to 5P if you're in the right spot. So this is way easier. Okay. This is actually a really good move against advancing moves. Not against all characters, but like in general, like Dolphin, Fafnir, 6S it works, but I have to be like kind of close. I can't be like max range. I have to be like here, basically. It's a really good move against advancing buttons as well. A couple more buttons, like some of these buttons are like at the end of a string. So like 2D for example, is at the end of the string. All you have is special cancels. 6H another one. End of a string. All you have is special cancels. So I'm not going to really talk about those. The thing I'm trying to show is that you have to have really specific uses for all the moves you use, and then knowing your follow-ups is really important too. And they did do us a solid, by the way. They did do something big to make up for the more, let's say, narrow Gatling chart that everyone has. And it's something that basically does not exist in Guilty Gear at all, unless the move has a special exception on it, right? And that is Soul Mashing 5K. Joke. That is the delay cancel window. So the biggest trade-off, the biggest and clearest trade-off for the new Gatling style is that there are really huge delay cancel, basically infinite delay cancel window, where in prior Guilty Gears, the delay cancel windows were tied to active frames. So for example, if you had a really easy way for me to show it is off Milius 5K, because this actually comes up. So ignoring the fact that you can delay it into itself, you can't do delay anything. So you can do delay 5K like this, but you can't do delay 2K like ever. The 5K 2K works like Exerd and previous Guilty Gears, where you basically can't delay the string at all. You have to go straight into it. Where the rest of her strings are like the new style, where you can delay a lot. This is why you see people respecting things like this, because this close slash is -2, but the threat of this is keeping people respectful. The last thing I want to say about Gatlings is, just like the wall, if you're playing this game, it's literally, you cannot fight that. Like, it's just part of the game. So just take what your character has and do what you can, because everyone can do stuff with this system. It's not like, it's when I don't really feel restricted, because the options they give us, if you're picking the right buttons in the right spots, you should have a lot of options anyway, I feel like. Any questions?